because Nick at least sort of tries to meet and do well, as depending on how his mood is and how many T-Pels he's got in his B-Talks. But the point is, commenters are mostly just actively malicious. Like they're trying to find as many possible negative angles to hammer as possible. And the question then becomes, well, what do you do about it? Well, my basic default answer is always, well, nothing. You don't do anything about it. Let discourse handle it. Either it's legitimate, in which case it gets engaged legitimately, or it's illegitimate and gets ignored. But, of course, there are additional complications to be concerned about. I mean, to a certain extent, somebody's negative framing of you, and particularly nasty personal attacks and stuff, you go, well, I hope people don't believe that, you know? But I have to rely on the fact that at a certain point, if you make enough outrageous claims, no matter how carefully you try to couch them in other terms, people will put two and 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 two together and realize, oh, it's just a quack or whatever.
Sometimes you got to reframe it and just point out that it's a lot of effort and time. You got to wonder who's going to be this consistently malicious in YouTube comments. And why doesn't he leave his mom's basement?
Well, look, unlike Taylor, I don't necessarily think if you live in your mom's basement, there's anything to tease you about or anything about that. What I do think is that if somebody's a random person, I don't know, leaves a bunch of comments, my best negative shit. Well, of course, I know that no matter who that person is, no matter which time that's occurred, and it's happened plenty of times to different people over the course of the channel, the response has always been the same. Come, talk face to face, with the camera on, with the microphone on, and engage me like a human being, or engage Taylor like a human being, or whoever you got a problem with, or whoever you want to attack, or whoever you want to talk to. I don't think we could ever be accused of being guilty of hiding from those who wish to hold us to account. I mean, I could occasionally. Sometimes I am. But not around here, really. Sometimes, but not really. I mean, you know, like, I remember when I fucking, like, when I made fun of Damon Gray, and then I felt like I just wanted to, like, I don't want to deal with any of the consequences of that, and I kind of, like, ran away. It's like,
there you go. There's some honesty. Good job.
There's an example of me running away from shit. But in general, I try not to do anything too bad, first of all. I mean, how bad could you get when you're just talking about shit and being honest? So, I guess it can be pretty bad sometimes. You got some problems.
Hey, how bad?
Anyway, I'm getting off point. The point is, what doesn't help is a big negative Nancy who's negative Nancying up the Nancy floor, you know. But whatever, you deal with it, you gotta deal with it. I'm certainly not gonna fucking censor somebody. I don't think either Taylor or I want to censor anybody at all, right?
No, we're really opposed to that.
Yeah, and I think everybody else is probably in general around here too. A couple beta quadra exceptions here and there, maybe.
Gotta let the haters hate.
Or gamma quadra, whichever quadra likes authority. Is it Delta?
Leave it to Nick to make me question my own ethics on censorship.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting topic because we've been challenged in this area on a number of. I mean, it's happened a lot that there's pressures to constrain the manner or scope of expression, and a lot of times I bend to that pressure, and a lot of times it's self-imposed pressure or FE preference on my part where I go, oh, but people don't like it.
I think that when you're ENTPs on a platform like YouTube, that's as open as this, it invites sparring, which is good, but not everyone can handle losing well, as we recently got a lesson.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's not sparring what they're doing, commoners. First of all, because
I mean, I
I
think
don't
that
want
it's
to.
off sparring. I think some of it does start off as a form of sparring on a lower level, testing the water.
Okay, but they're not engaging you to engage on point. So if I do ever engage him on a point, he's not debating honestly, right? He's just getting me to attack somewhere so he can go, aha, lift the ball out from
If
underneath
you
my
think
foot.
about different levels of arguing or testing the
Yeah,
water,
I agree with Eric on that. When somebody initiates like that,
but okay. I mean, I could be wrong. Well, no, I can't. But I might not be totally right.
Yeah, you don't have to be right. You just can't be wrong.
I guess I'm giving some benefit of the doubt there of people who maybe aren't willing to go all the way in and come and argue face to face with you or I, but do kind of want to test a theory or try pushing back a little bit.
That's not him on testing any theories or anything like that. He is just there to elicit response so he can make you
yes,
dance. That's all he's
yes.
trying to do is make you dance.
Hmm.
And he
Well,
gets
I barely bring myself to read him.
well, I know he's having to play fucking massive concertos now just to get me to go ha cha cha. So it's a poor cost benefit analysis for him in terms of time expenditure. I mean, he can't possibly win the war of attrition, but I like the fact that even though it bothers me a little bit, that this is a place where people's comments don't get deleted even when they're complete fucking garbage.
If you do make us delete comments, just kind of as a rule of thumb, I know that if I ever have to edit someone, if it gets to that level, I'll be super pissed that I had to edit someone. Just on principle alone.
By editing, I think do you mean like removing comments,
Yeah. If I have to
editing the body of work.
know of how I think things should work, that's going to piss me off.
Right. Well, because in a lot of ways, this is an area I think where you and I agree regarding living the world as it ought to be, insofar as we're the authorities exercising censorship. We do so with great reluctance because otherwise, then it's not having an opinion about something else. It's about what we choose or actually choose to do, and whether we exercise act in accordance with principles or not.
It loses some of the purity or whatever to violate one of your own rules, even if it's well warranted. At some point, it's certainly well warranted. No one can argue that. But it still bastardizes things unnecessarily.
There is a breaking point for almost every single one of one's own rules, although maybe not all of them. But
I personally am super lenient with myself on my own rules. I give myself permission to break any of my own rules whenever I so feel.
well, what I do is I give my personal permission to believe a justification for a while.
See, and I don't need that. I bypass the whole.
Well, you're a little further developed in that area than I am. I still have to go through the justification self-deception process. It's brief.
Two wrongs don't make a right, Eric.
Hey, but listen, it still has to be clever and new justification. I can't justify shit with an old justification. That wouldn't count. So if I can't come up with anything clever or new, then
Then do you do that thing where you do the obligatory guilt for a minute before doing what you're going to do anyways? Like, oh man, I really feel bad. Okay.
I shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
I'll feel guilty about it afterwards.
Or do you do the thing where you're like, I have to think about it when you know what decision you're going to make, but you just delay it? You just waste a little bit of time with the decision?
That I don't really do because I don't think I ever really know for sure if I have made a decision or not.
Well, you've made some decisions tonight about your future dates and stuff. That's one place. I keep trying to see you trying to make decisions about how you're going to or not going to physically engage women, which is why I keep saying, why would you start planning here when it's such an unnatural process for you?
Well, how is he gonna get like any better in relationships unless he changes something?
Because when you don't set rules or make decisions for yourself as a way of interacting with life, but then you decide to start doing it, it just doesn't seem like the right spot.
Well, listen, the words I say are more or less unrelated.
I'm grateful with that one.
The words I say about what's going to happen, okay? The words I say are about what I'm going to do, plan to do, expect to do, think to do, etc. Have a loose relationship with the action I then subsequently do end up taking or the manner in which I take it. Because no matter how clear my plan is going into a football game, for example, once we're down 14 points, that goes out the window. We got to start throwing bombs. And same thing with everything in life, except it's not necessarily things are going bad, things are going good. It's like things going this direction, things are going that direction. I can't not improvise. I don't know how to refer back to a strategic plan regularly. That's what I try to do periodically and fail continually to do in the course of a conversation with somebody. I'll tell myself, remember, Eric, slow down. Speak.
What I'm saying is maximize your strengths. Don't try to
speak with my sexy voice.
Do speak in your sexy voice.
Mm-hmm. If you want to.
It just sounds like you're selling macaroni and cheese like that one guy.
Who sold your macaroni?
Light bulb.
That's a bad joke, Taylor. I'm sorry.
Ooh, would you like some macaroni and cheese?
Yes, I would.
I've got some in this box right here.
This box. He's talking about his
That's
box.
how macaroni and cheese comes, Taylor. It comes in a box.
He said comes.
With powdered cheese? Are you going to make that intersexual innuendo as well?
I really like how we started out talking about unsolicited attacks and then led to macaroni.
We're making a video.
Yeah.
We're making a video.
Now it's attacks.
This is much better.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what happens when we are subject to unsolicited attacks. And the 10 or 12 videos that we had today, we make one that's about it for a little while until we forget all about it and start talking about something fun.
You could use the powdered cheese to toss a salad.
Which is also not a sexual innuendo. Thanks for watching Talking with Famous People. Don't forget to eat plenty of powdered cheese. It's the only way you'll ever grow big and strong.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a good video. I like that one. It's perfect. We forget about him mid-conversation about it. It's perfect.
I forgot you were recording a video, yeah.
And we get to talk about tossing salads.
I want the world to have no more sexual innuendos, so that if I say, I don't know, something is normally sexual. Like, I was playing with my balls in the backyard. The people would just think, like, oh, well, obviously he was.
Your golf balls or your tennis balls?
Yeah, must have been playing catch back
Basketballs?
there or something.
Baseballs?
Bouncy
Right.
balls?
Softballs?
All the regular kind of non-testicle balls.
Beach balls?
The biggest balls of them all.
The balls of your feet?
The balls of my feet are very, very important. I play with them all the time. I play with them pretty much constantly. I'm not going to lie. No, I don't have a foot fetish. I have a ball of the foot fetish. I don't want to see the rest of your foot. I want the rest of your foot entirely covered up.
It was interesting to see Taylor make fun of, say, like the person lives in his mom's basement and he's saying it from a basement.
Yeah, but it's my basement.
It's still a basement.
Yeah, because
It's not the basement part that's the problem, light bulb.
My house is full of women.